People often think kids' TV programs are like fairy tales that they have been told by their parents.
For the first time in human history, a child is born into a home in which television is on an average of about 7 hours a day. And for the first time in human history, most of the stories are told not by the parent, not by the school, not by the church, not by the tribe or the community.
Frog Prince, Snow White, Cinderella, are those what kids are watching these days? Kids are exposed to violence in programs designed for them. They become accustomed to the violence and often imitate that in reality. Oftentimes, this violence comes from friendly characters like SpongeBob, who are rarely punished for their actions. In a recent study by J.P. Murray, the concern is raised about these repeated exposures to violence that have no consequences. The study indicates that media violence leads to kids overestimating the risk of victimization, and also increases the kids' aggressive behaviors, changes their attitudes, and changes their value judgments. Apart from TV, video games are another vehicle for media violence that we should be concerned with. But you may be thinking, video games can't possibly be as graphic as television, right?
Wrong answer, man. Show 'em!
Improvements in computer technology enable the video game industry to develop more realistic games. More realistic blood, gore, dismemberment, and murder. These are all very common things found in video games these days. According to Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB, about 10,000 out of 22,000 video game titles contain violent content anywhere from cartoon violence to blood and gore. There is no regulation placed on the selling of violent video games to children in the United States. Although the video game industry has a self-regulating ESRB, there is no law prohibiting retailers from selling violent games to children. In addition, these ESRB ratings have been proven to not be useful according to several studies. There are numerous assaults and cases that link aggression to violence in video games. Take, for example, a French video gamer who was killed in a virtual fight in a video game called Counter-Strike. He tracked down his rival and stabbed him to death with a kitchen knife as payback for the loss in the game. Here's what a child development expert had to say on the issue. What do you think the effect of violence in the media has on the youth?
Well, I think that the effect is a very detrimental one, and it can result in some serious social and psychological problems later in life.
So what is legislation doing to combat the violence in the media? Not enough, evidently. Thousands of studies have been released and brought to the attention of legislature as to the negative effects that violence in the media can have on children, including recent ones from American Psychological Association and American Academy of Pediatrics. Violence is not as vigilantly censored or monitored as sexual content or expletive language. While sexual content can only be aired in specific time slots when children are least likely to be in the audience, levels of violence present in Saturday morning cartoons are in fact higher than levels of violence during prime time. Legislation is more comfortable leaving protection of the youth in the hands of the parents. By providing parents with tools like V-chips, they have the ability to censor the content as they please. In addition, the APA advises having parents actively watch television and play video games with their children. While doing so, explaining the difference between the actual world and fantasy world was shown to reduce aggression in children.